is we don't want to take all of the tech people who are Latinos. That would be awful. But what we want to do is we want to connect with y'all so that we can grow as nonprofits together and encourage more Latinos to enter into the tech industry. And so with that being said, we are hoping to bridge the gap between nonprofits. We want to connect developers and engineers with job opportunities and career development opportunities. We also want to encourage Latinos to start tech companies, as well as helping mentor and train the next generation of Latinos. This is our team. I introduced Leroy and Nate, and we've got a couple other people. The founder, he lives in Seattle now, so I've been running the organization, but we have this talk about, opening a chapter out there. So he very much is still involved. Our current objectives, so we have a lot of current objectives. The main one is that we are trying to become tax exempt. And as a nonprofit, that's a very arduous process. I know most of you probably know that. And so it's a work in progress, But to do that, we need to have directors. And to have directors, we need to have more leadership members. So that is part of our goal. Another goal of ours is we're always open to advising and mentorship. Those people are key. Not only mentors for us as a nonprofit organization, but also mentors for our developers who are going to be in our organization and the entrepreneurs who are trying to start tech companies through our organization. In addition to that, we're looking for tech subject matter experts. And that being said, we want to be able to present on the most relevant topics into the tech industry. And for that, we need to have the top-notch Latino talent. Another set of people that we are looking for are ASL interpreters, and the reason being is, we have somebody who is interested in this event today who was coming from an organization called STEMsign, and they had asked for accommodations. However, we weren't able to find a interpreter on the spot, and so that's a tremendous loss for us, because STEMsign, what they're doing is they're working with Latino and non-Latino deaf people to teach these deaf children how to learn about STEM and encourage them to enter into industries such as ours. And if it's hard for Latinos to break into tech, you could imagine how hard it would be if you were deaf, or if you were a deaf Latino. And so our goal is to be able to provide these opportunities for everybody. That's why we have this projector up. That's why we have a speech-to-text center, is in case Gabriel and his organization came to represent. And I hope he will make it, but as you can see, I hope we didn't turn him off, And so if you guys know any ASL interpreters, please let us know. It's important, and I'm sure that y'all are all thinking and racking your brains, who do I know who's an ASL interpreter? There are not many. Part of this also, what?
Do they have to be Hispanic?
They don't have to be Hispanic. No.
I got you.
Okay. And part of this is also, we want to be able to share resources with y'all as organizations. So I had shown a QR code at the beginning. If you go to that QR code, not only is there a link to email us and to our website, but also to what we are calling, right here, Austin Nonprofits. Very basic site. It's built on my own domain, so it's like, I threw this together in 30 minutes today. And essentially, what this website does, and my head is in the way, is we have a Austin Nonprofit Slack and a link to our Nonprofit Tech Summit that's occurring right now. So if you have anybody who is interested in watching this live, we are live broadcasting this event. In addition to that, and the QR code is up here, but in addition to that, we have our info, and so if you want to get in contact with us in the best way, we have our email, website. Website's rusty, we're working on it. But yeah, so the goal is for us to be able to share resources. And to do that, this Slack is crucial, because as nonprofits, we're working with very little. Some of y'all have global and national organizations, but some people are local. And for us local players, we need as many people as we can. One of the Slack channels that we have on that Slack is a accommodations channel. So if you do know of any ASL interpreters, please put them in the accommodations channel. Just ask them if it's okay if you share their info so that they can volunteer at our events when we need them. And so we don't have to dish out a ton of money that's coming out of a nonprofit that could go towards other programs. to meet those accommodations and be able to actually accommodate people, you know? I'm a firm believer that organizations should be allowed to thrive, and if we're rejecting people because we can't pay for accommodations for them, that's messed up. So that's the other thing, is we're looking for companies and organizations to partner with, and partnership can mean, you know, whether we are connecting and sharing members or moving forward with creating events together and building long-term relationships. So again, reach out to us if you're interested. And so Hispanic Hackers, what do? We're essentially trying to elevate the Latino community. How does that work? We do monthly events and weekly events. This is our weekly to-do. We're trying to get people onboarded with our Discord. And part of how we're doing that is we're offering like office hours on Mondays between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. We've had one person show up in the last 2 weeks. But, you know, one person is a win. And the goal is to get more interaction. Maybe we might extend those hours or change them. But having that office hours allows us to explain tech, walk people through their independent projects. If they have entrepreneurship projects or companies that they're starting, that's where we shine, is helping people find resources and learn more. We have a Cidercade Social. This is next Tuesday. So if any of y'all are interested, we're just going to show up, play a bunch of arcade games, and connect. Really fun. We like to do a lot of social events. And then we're partnering with Tequeria next month in September on CoderPad Interview Mastery. So the goal there is to get Latinos more comfortable with the technical interview process and be able to, if you can get people comfortable with the technical interview process, then you can get them to find jobs. And if they can find jobs, you got more Latinos in the tech industry. And that's our goal, is more Latinos in the tech industry, whether it's starting companies or joining companies as developers. So those are some of our example events. Right here we have Capital Factories. We have to pitch them because, you know, they've been gracious enough to give us our space. And we're really appreciative of that. Capital Factory is awesome. I actually work out of here. So I'm a little biased, but 16th floor is really cool, or 12th. I think it's 12. But yeah, so this is our event. Again, if you're interested in contacting us, the QR code is there. And Gabriela is short on time, so we're gonna have her come up and present. Did you have slides? Okay, cool. Come on up, and this is Gabriela from Latinitas.
Thank you so much, Andres and Hispanic Hackers, for the invite. My name is Gabriela Quinguardia. I'm currently serving as the Interim Executive Director at Latinitas. We're a local nonprofit. We're based on the east side at Springdale General. If you're ever in the area, feel free to come by and say hello. Our mission is to empower all girls to innovate through media and tech. So it's really, you know, a lot of mission alignment for us to be here at Hispanic Hackers. We support our community through STEAM education, digital equity efforts, career exploration, and you know, really just trying to make sure that the students in our community have mentors to look up to so they can see themselves having careers in tech and media. And so we're always open to having volunteers come and support our students. If you're interested in mentoring, that's an opportunity. Of course, donations and contributions go a long way for our organization too. We're really looking forward to Hispanic Heritage Month. It's going to be a lot of great partnership opportunities during that month too. So feel free to connect with us. We're on all the social media platforms. We have a great newsletter that also has ways to connect and collaborate. And we love to share any resources we can with you all. And just really grateful for this platform. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. And part of our mission is also to not just partner with y'all, but we're going to try to start finding volunteers through our organization and making a move to have volunteers who can partner with y'all and actually volunteer with y'all. So whether that's working with Latinitas, which is training up the next generation of Latinas in tech, or that means having people volunteer for SHPE events or Pro-Spanica meetings. Those we need more conducive movement between our organizations. And so I think that's going to be a wonderful thing. Again, Slack channel, there's a volunteer channel on there, and so that's a goal of ours too. Who wants to go next? Michael. This is Michael with Austin Urban Tech.
I don't have slides, but I got a website, so I'm gonna go to my website.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you. And it's AUTM. And then if you hover at the top, under About, you're gonna go to Annual Report. Oh, just hover, and then there's Annual Reports. You can scroll down, and then just stop. Go scroll down. Just right there. Oh, go right there.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. There you go. Beautiful. Can you click the arrow to the left for me?
Yes.
Oh, other side. Can you go left? One more. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey everybody. The name is Michael Wood Jr. I'm the president and CEO at Austin Urban Technology Movement, and our main thing is to get Blacks and Hispanic inside this tech space. That's what we do. We've been doing it since 2016. I love Hispanic hackers. I actually knew Eddie Reyes when I first got here. Him and I connected. He was on our board before he moved out to Seattle, so shout out to Eddie for making this happen. And Eddie actually connected Andres and I together. So now we're trying to reestablish our relationship with Hispanic hackers and really see how we can support one another. So I'll make this quick and share with you all the different services that we do provide, because our main thing is to really thrive and make Austin a great spot for Blacks and Hispanics, and I know that we can do it. So this is our 2022 annual report. So last year we provided 560 services. That means that we provided, we had 243 people that came to us specifically for jobs saying, hey, can you give me a job in tech? We had 201 people say, all right, can you give me digital equity assistance? Can you help with internet, devices, digital literacy? Can you help me get in a place till they get a job in tech? Well, now that I got the device, now I'm thinking about the job, can you actually give me the skills to get into the tech space? Can you help me with certs, certifications, apprenticeships, internships, projects, the whole nine? Yes, 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 and yes. Right? So an opportunity to work with Hispanic hackers, it's a no-brainer, right? Because there's a lot of shared overlap in the work that we're doing. And this is what I love. 79% of our audience is Black and Hispanic. We don't discriminate, so we do have others inside our group, right? But we do primarily work with those that are Black and Hispanic because, as Andre said, overall we account for less than 15% of the entire tech industry, even though we account for about 30% Black and Hispanic of the US population. So there's nothing but upside and opportunity, especially with how Austin and Texas is shaping overall. 49% of our audience make less than $13,000 a year. 80% of our audience make less than $50,000 a year. So I really want that to sit in, because when people talk about getting Blacks and Hispanic in STEM, I'm like, okay, what does that really mean, right? How are you moving the needle? And a lot of the time, they're taking people who already have skills, already have experience, and just moving them around the tech space, right? That doesn't provide more opportunities for people. Right, so our standpoint is that we want to get people in tech. Once you are in tech, let's help you move up inside the industry or out of the industry and do your own thing. And then let's help you be an engaged techie, so that you're not just working, but you're serving on boards. You're completing public surveys. You're being in task force, right? You're adding your own personal story to what's going on inside the ether. And right now, there's a huge focus around digital equity and providing infrastructure expansion, right? But if we're not adding our lived experiences to those moments, well, then our people lose out, right? And that's why a lot of my time this past 2 weeks I've been at City Hall and talking about the 2024 budget and what the city of Austin wants to do, which is a whole another story, but it starts with us getting inside tech and understanding the value that we can bring and expanding from there. 60% of our audience don't have degrees. That's another thing that we look to overcome, because once again, the traditional pathway is 4-year degrees, skills, and experience. But that doesn't really work for our community. Some definitely get through. I love it. A lot of us here have probably gone through that. Love it. What about our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, other people that we're looking to get in the door as well? And then last but not least, this is what one of these stats I love a lot, is that we are truly for the community. So because we focus on workforce development, we typically skew like 16 and above, right? Anybody under the age of 16 is like mentorship, soft skills, networking, et cetera, right? But over the age of 16 is like, let's get you a job, right? Let's get you good skills where you can go and build your own company. And then that's where you see a good makeup of our audience, is that we have 26% between the ages of 18 and 25. We have 40% between the ages of 25 and 36. And then 32% between the ages of 36 and 49. So we have people who have so much experience, some who have no experience, and some people in the middle. And our goal is to make sure that there's a thriving ecosystem, so that whoever we drop in our ecosystem can come out of techie. And then we have a lot of women in our program, a lot. 2022 was the only year that we actually had less women than men. I was very surprised about that. But ever since 2016, we've always had more women in our program overall, and that is something else that I love to say. And I should see this. I'll share this one before I go. And that we are not just in Austin. We're in 18 states and 7 countries. We actually just expanded into Mexico, which I'm very happy about. So there's a lot of other opportunities that are coming in the future. So I just wanted to share this because tell your friends about us, please. Please tell your friends, tell your families, because I can't do this work with you all without you all. So please reach out to me on this. Him and I will be talking, and I look forward to just working with you all. I think that's it. Oh, actually, I'll serve this, and I'll just, oh, there we go. So, when I talk about Austin being the best spot for Blacks and Hispanics, I wanted to share this event that will be happening during Afrotech. It's on November 4th, and it's called Rethink Austin. So I'm definitely going to talk to Andres more about it. Y'all share it out and everything, but please save the date for November 4th. It'll be an all-day event, and it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned for that. And I'll make sure to share our information on the website so y'all can browse. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Who wants to go next?
Follow that. Are you kidding? I'll bite that bullet.
Okay, great. This is Drew, and he's with Prospanica.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Andres. Thanks, everyone here. I don't have slides, and I was being truthful there. I am biting this bullet. You're a phenomenal presenter, Michael. Oh, my God. But more importantly, what I'm here today is to represent Prospanica. Prospanica was formerly the National Society of Hispanic MBAs. That's who they were when I found them, about 15 years ago. They're about a 40-year-old organization now in 45 states and Puerto Rico. So what we do is we're the National Society of Hispanic Professionals. It's a very broad umbrella, and that means that whereas we traditionally delved more into like business schools, you had to have an MBA, we had strong ties with McCombs, things like that. We've since really expanded. So what does that mean in practical terms for y'all is scholarships if you're still in school, whether you're in undergrad or in grad school, or any of your, I love the sisters and brothers, right? You always got a little sister, little brother, somebody else who needs to come up after we've charted a course, right? So we do that locally, and really what I'm here to pitch y'all today is after the events of 2020, things did not go well for a lot of local organizations. We are very much a handshakes and chips and salsa kind of organization, right? And we didn't have that for years and years. You know, you try to keep up those digital connections, all of that can be okay. In fact, my connection to Hispanic Hackers Network is with James Lockwood, who is a longtime member, fantastic dude, who did our marketing for a long time. He was a big part of the reason why we had a digital presence in the post-pandemic age. And I'm so thankful to him for that and for the Hispanic Hackers Network. The problem being, man, how many of those were there? Who has Zoom fatigue? Who is going to events in their spare time because you want to sit at your computer after your work is done? Like, we want to be doing this stuff now. And I'm looking for people who want to be doing this stuff for and with Prospanica. Restarting the chapter from a whole. You're joining a national organization. I'm more than willing to help you through it. I led the organization locally for 3 years. I've been a part of it for 15 years. But nowadays, I'm a part of the Prospanica Center for Social Justice, which is a national organization that prevents me from running things locally on a day-to-day basis. So I'd love to talk to you if you're interested in getting a leadership position with a national, old school organization that can cater to you no matter what business you're in. I would love to talk to you tonight. So please hit me up. Thanks.
Okay, who's next? Marcela? Okay.
Yeah.
I do have some slides.
Oh, perfect. Did you email them? Nice. Okay, here you go. All yours.
Awesome, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Marisela Castro. I am the Austin chapter president for the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. You've probably heard of us. We're SHIP. We're also a national organization. We are the local branch. So you get all the perks of being a local chapter, seeing us face to face, and also having this broader network across the United States, and sometimes even across the world. Switch over. So our mission, we are changing lives and we're inspiring the Hispanic community through STEM awareness. We're going everything from K through 12, all the way to Latinos that are working professionals. You can be grad students, you can be university members, it doesn't matter, we're there to help you. So our vision is we're looking for Hispanics who are highly valued and influential as leaders, innovators, scientists, mathematicians, and engineers. Now, don't get it twisted, we're not just for the STEM fields. We welcome all people. As long as you are into our mission and vision, we're into you then. So we have a few core values. Familia, obviously, we're a tight-knit group. We want to hang out, we want to do events together, and we want all of you to succeed. We also have service events, we have education events, and we also are resilient as people. So I did want to plug our next event happening tomorrow at the Rotorium. We're a new board, I'm newly elected president, so come meet all of the new board members. You know, have a couple drinks on us, have some snacks, come network with Latinos in your community. So we offer volunteer events, so those are things that you can be a part of. We're looking to network, we're looking to meet others in our community, and we're also looking, to broaden our horizons. So we also suffered a little bit during COVID. We didn't want to do Zoom events. We did a little, we tried our best. We're up and coming. We're still doing events and we're still thriving hard with our university chapter. So if you're interested in K through 12, if you're interested in mentoring university students, if you're just interested in learning more about SHIP, come talk to me. And of course, I have a QR code if you want to look at our link tree and connect with us.
Gerardo, do you want to go next? Judith? Yeah, both of y'all? Okay. This is Gerardo and Judith from Tequeria. Do you have slides? Okay. Did you send them to me?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Videos. Wow. Yeah, that's right. Here you go. All yours.
Hello everyone, I'm Gerardo, and I'm a director of Tequeria.
And I'm Judith, I'm also director for Tequeria.
We obviously didn't prepare for this, so we're a community of 12,000 members. Most of them are online. However, we're a non-profit that got incorporated in 2019, so we have been around for a while. It's been almost 4 years here in Austin. We have other chapters as well. So although we have most of our community online with Slack, we are starting to host events here as well in Capital Factory, once a month, usually tech and other industries around tech. And we also host happy hours for networking. We have heard about here, we also got affected in the pandemic. And so we're trying to start again, start strong, make some network, and also partnerships. And as I already mentioned, that we have an event coming up together, and we would love to partner with you guys as well.
Yeah, we also have a happy hour this Thursday at 6:30, I think, at Revival Coffee. So in case any one of y'all want to socialize with some of our members, feel free to come out. Always really cool.
Yeah, and talking about Latino Heritage Month, we also have a, summit or a conference style. It's going to be remote, so that's October 4th. It's free for 10. And we will be trying to celebrate in person the next day. So another happy hour celebrating all of this. And these are our info. Here you can apply online to our Slack. We also have our events in our website, tequeria.org, Austin, Texas. And lastly, we publish our events in either Facebook, Capital Factory newsletter, and Eventbrite.
If y'all know anyone who doesn't identify as Latino or Hispanic, they can join our Slack regardless as allies and post any opportunities, so like recruiters, for example. So feel free to share within those networks if y'all would like. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, the last thing is we also take partnerships. So if you know anyone that's willing to donate, we will to do that, and you can be also a sponsor. So if you have a ERG that we want to partner with, we usually take our members to your place. Or if you want to be in our newsletter as a sponsor and everywhere else, we do have some packages for you all. If you know anyone that also might be interested. So if you have anyone donating to you, please refer us to us as well.
Thanks, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna be really hungover after. So many things to go to. But okay, are there any other nonprofits here? Yes, sir. What's your name? Nice to meet you. And what's your organization?
Yes, I'm here representing, I'm part of the advisory board for the Young Hispanic Professional Association of Austin, also known as YAPA.
Do you have slides?
No, I don't have slides, unfortunately. I did not know that I was going to be represented today. Yeah, so Young Hispanic Professional Association is actually kind of, we accept, young is very loose in our, in our requirements, so no worries about it. I'm still part of it, so I'm obviously not young anymore. But what we kind of do is we're trying to bring this community of not only tech professionals, but definitely we are trying to get ahead of tech professionals, but all young Hispanic professionals in the city of Austin to get in together. So what we usually try to coordinate, our 4 pillars are networking, community service, professional development, and sorry, the 3 pillars. Those are the 3 pillars that we have. Our tagline is Dar, Gozar y Avanzar. And so that's what we actually really try to do. We've been part of Austin for about 17 years now. I was president of it back in 2013. And so we really are trying, we have a event coming up on the 16th of September over at the Cathedral called Bailando por Nuestro Futuro. So it's going to be our annual fundraising event in which we're going to be able to try to, just get more people in there, get people to be closer to the community, and yeah, and just make those relationships with people, not only in the tech industry, but around the industries, the young Latino industries here in town. So please come join us. Our Instagram is YHPAA, YAPA. That's actually one of our main sources of information. We actually advertise more heavily on that than anything else. And so yeah, come and join us. We'd love to see your face. Bye.
You said YPHAA?
YHPAA.
Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely necessary, is bringing up the Latino youth. That's like very important. Anybody else have a nonprofit? Okay, cool. So following this, I thought that we, just talk about some things. I have some questions prepared. The first being, as a nonprofit, what is your biggest struggle right now? Who wants to start us off? Maricela?
I think our biggest struggle is donations. Getting money from people to fund our events. We all want happy hours, but we also want to be able to buy supplies for students to do events at K through 12. So that costs money. That's our biggest struggle right now.
That makes sense. How do y'all receive how do y'all receive money? What's your platform for that?
We'll do corporate sponsors, and then we'll also do flat donations. So
okay.
if you are open, you can send me a memo if you want. I'll say no.
So follow-up question to that then. So for the national organizations, do y'all have to fund locally yourself? Okay.
Yes. So we get, so obviously you pay membership dues to the organization as a whole. We get a cut of that. It's not a lot. I don't know how much y'all get. But we only get a portion. And that's all based on our membership. So if we don't have a lot of members, we don't have a lot of money. So then it's based on us to become nonprofits, then we get monthly relevant from corporate sponsors.
That makes sense. So locally, you have to locally fundraise. And
Yes.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. We do give perks, obviously, since you are a member of a national organization. You can go to our national convention. opportunity to network and meet other Latinos in the community. But, you know, we still don't have the money that the national organization has.
Yeah. Copy and paste. I mean, we've got a really large organization. The way that the funding will work locally for chapter information, like Hispanic would be here in Austin again, is you get a sizable amount to start up for the year, but then yeah, you'd be expected to self-fund to a certain degree. Some of it would go back up into the national organization as long as you're receiving money from the national organization. But then those perks over on the Hispanic end include trips to go to leadership training at Summit every year, to conference every year, also network with other people in our spaces. Okay,
So
okay.
if we have
That's fair,
people
yeah,
watching
I do,
online-
yeah, no, that's totally fair. So, for everybody online, hey, my bad. But yeah, so the funding does come from a national level, but you're not entirely dependent on just membership dues. Like you were saying, it is a large amount of corporate sponsorships. Thankfully, over on the Hispanic Center for Social Justice, we received a very generous donation from the Amy Zuckerberg Foundation, which was super dope. So it means that we do get to self-fund a lot of things, particularly depending on the program. If you want to have a happy hour event, get sponsorship from Tito's. If you want to do something about social justice and equity, we can probably get your event done through Hispanic. Thanks so much for the reminder.
Of course, you're all good. Anybody else want to talk?
How much money though do y'all need annually?
Okay, here.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. How much money do y'all need annually?
Do we need or get?
No, you said funding, right? So how much do y'all need annually?
Well, I guess that really depends on how many events we want to put on. A happy hour itself is, you know, anywhere between $700 and $1,000. That's just one event. We can do, you know, smaller events where only a couple hundred, but it just kind of depends on what we want to do. Our rolling budget, I would say, we're probably spending close to 10K would be my want to do everything that we can in the community. But, you know, even then, I don't know.
Yeah. Great question. Hispanic, pretty similar. So back when I was president, we were a premier chapter, which means we were bringing in over $30,000 a year. And so as a premier chapter, we also got the ability to use the money with more latitude than we would as a chapter in formation. But yeah, so I'd say that 30,000 is a really good amount to be able to do everything that we would want to do.
Yeah. Veronica's with Latinitas.
Yes, I have a question. Is there, and this goes to your point about the Zuckerberg Foundation, is there a world where we don't host happy hours and we do other type of events that are significantly less? And what would that look like? Do you have any ideas? Can we do some brainstorming? I would just be interested.
That makes total sense. I can tell you for Hispanic hackers, we try to do like a lot of professional events. And also, we're trying to do more presentations on tech topics, which is a broad thing, depending on if you're an entrepreneur, developer, etc. But that's our niche. How about y'all?
Yeah, man, I've got, again, my man James Lockwood to thank for this super innovative event. So this was early pandemic times. We're going, I don't know if we can get together. And he was like, actually, I know a great trail off of Bull Creek. Go head out there. My friend's a yoga instructor. We're just going to go do yoga in nature. Like, okay, cool. So we all met. We got socially distanced with our yoga mats and all that kind of stuff. And it was a very low-cost event that brought us a lot of peace and mindfulness.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'm going to say, like, it's important that we have to be balanced in any of those kind of things. I know everybody wants to say, oh, get rid of happy hours for more professional development events, but truth of the matter is happy hours are the biggest draw to people. You know, people aren't going to come into a group just to learn. I mean, they are, but a lot fewer are going to come into there, because like one of the biggest important lessons that I ever learned as part of my year, and I've been in young Hispanic nonprofits here in Austin for about 20 years. And so one of the biggest lessons I learned is the important piece is you got to make it personal. Like you can invite someone to, you know, your next professional development event, but if they're thinking they're going to come to this event with you, as opposed to I'm going to go to that organization's event, that is where you actually make that draw, make that hook. But also one of the important parts is, on most of the events we have pretty low budget, so most of our events are being creative, being free. So like one of the bigger things that we like to do and play upon is, be really creative with it. Loteria nights. Everybody pitch in, do a loteria night. That comes out really low budget. You can charge tickets for it. We usually don't, but if you really need to, you can charge tickets for entry for it. You could get fundraising that way to be the next big thing. We had trivia nights. You just got to be really clever with it, but you do have to balance it out. We have ourselves, we structured it so that every quarter we have 1 month we're doing networking, 1 month we're doing professional development, and the other month we're doing community service. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that your members out there, every member out there has a short-term memory, right? And every single time you're at one event, you want to be able to answer the question that they're going to ask next, inevitably, is when's the next event? So having a set schedule, having a set time to know, like, hey, everybody that's going to come to this event, I'm going to tell them they can meet us next time at this next event. Consistency, communication, and just, one of the biggest keys is make it personal, and that's super important. Please.
Yeah, I have a question. So do you guys work with any sponsors?
We try. We have a corporate solicitation packet up, so for any corporate sponsors that want to come in, we do it. One of our biggest paybacks to the community are for scholarships for young Austin students. So we have a ongoing partnership with the Hispanic Scholarship Consortium. So we pay half of the scholarship, they pay the other half of the scholarship, and that's what we try to do. And so it's also, that's another great thing. Corporate solicitation packet, have it online and accessible. You never know, and I have had it, those calls where it's like, December 15th, so HP wants to do an event because they need to figure out an event they're going to pay for by tomorrow. And so you got to tell them, sure, we could have you on our calendar, we'll give you the invoice so you can be able to do on your thing. Happy to have you as a sponsor. So like every single time you do a turnover in your onboarding process for any of your officers, make sure you do two things. Set that calendar up. You don't have to know exactly what you do, but you gotta mark out those dates that you're gonna do them so you can answer that question. Also, make sure that you have your corporate solicitation packet ready and going and updated. And as I said, and train them all up. Every single time you go to an event, you don't want all the officers, which happens a lot, to start off in that circle. Everybody's seen those circles. Break up those circles, make sure they're greeting the new people so that each officer can make it personal with each one of the members and make that personal connection so that they come back next time a new officer comes and makes it personal then. Next thing you know, you got someone that knows everybody on the board. They want to be on the board. So keep it going. This is important. And so that's the most long-winded answer to, funding is just work on your pillars, work on making it personal. A high volume of people are willing to buy their own drinks if they're buying their own drinks with friends. So,
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Michael.
Can y'all still hear me online?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I do have to go at 8 o'clock, and before I go, I would love to take a photo of everybody. We could do that. That'd be great. But a couple of things. The first is, what was your name, sir?
Ramiro.
One more time?
Ramiro.
Ramiro. I completely agree with him as everything that he said, and I also want to just shout out Andres. This is what we need to do. Right here. This is the secret sauce. And I also definitely agree about staggering, but also doing what you can collectively, right? So a lot of our events that we do, we try our best to always have food and drinks there, right? So that's a plus. And then we also like to divide the overall program so that those who just want to network, there's a networking time, right? But then there's development time, topic trends, et cetera, et cetera. So all of our events kind of follow that mode if we're doing an event that's more than an hour. Anything less than an hour is more so just talking. There's no food and drinks. That's on a different level. So we have those separations. And then the next thing I'll say is going back to the funding conversation. Whoever does need funding, Hispanic, Chip, yeah. And is Brian Benelli still there? Brian Batinelli? Okay, all right, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I would love to talk to y'all about how I can help with funding and talk about that because there's a lot of work that we do on our side and it's really connected around this piece, right? Bringing groups together, and I think you said leverage. I'm not sure if you said leverage or not. But one of you all said when you asked the question, what we need, I heard some whisper leverage. I'm like, that's the leverage. It's all of our combined effort. So I would love to kind of talk about that piece and have a way for us to have rolling events where if you're hosting the event, great, but then all of us can be community partners, right? If I'm hosting an event, great, all of you all can be community partners, right? And we can just have that rolling to help build up all of our engagement. So, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm appreciative of the shout out. again, that Slack is the goal, you know, to get everybody talking. If y'all know any other organizations, some of these organizations couldn't make it, but we got the majority of them, and I'm like exceptionally proud of that because that was the goal. You know, just get people in a room talking. And so if y'all know other people who are connected to some of these organizations, other nonprofits, reach out to them, get them on the Slack so we can start talking, start having a discussion. How do we combine forces? How do we aggregate our energy so that we don't have any energy wasted, you know? Because when it comes down to it, nonprofits need funding, we need members, we have the idea for resources, we have time to give and we're willing to give it. We just need the resources to back us, you know? Anybody who isn't a nonprofit or who is a nonprofit that wants to speak on any suggestions for sponsorship, membership, anything? Veronica?
So it's 8 p.m.
Yeah, we have until 9.
Would you be able to put the board up in there?
The board? Oh, yeah.
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 I just like talking about this. I see who said, it was Michael who said about the combination. I know where you're at and we're having this thing. So, okay, my name is Veronica. I sit at the board of directors of Latinitas. Veronica Peñalosa, word from a really long name. Full-time I work at Meta. And on the side, I also host community walks that are hosted by me and my co-host Al. So to your point about yoga and events that are free, we have been hosting 52 weeks, for 52 weeks straight community walks. And they started off with 9 people, but now we're at 50 people every single week. They all come from different backgrounds. It's called the board.
Oh, okay.
You walk in the Texas heat?
The board talk.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I just want to put this up as a case study. This has nothing to do with Latinidad, but I really want to see us being more active and physically. This is completely free. We've been doing this for 52 weeks without any funding at all. If anything, we lost money, like hosting a website. So that's how I met Andres. We get people via Twitter to come join us, but what I'm trying to say is that this is possible to do. I would love to have more Latinos come to the walk. It happens every single Saturday at 8 a.m., but could we get another date that we can all get together? I will say, this walk has rules, so there's no selling or promoting or speed dating in this specific event, but it's a really good opportunity to literally go in a circle and present a topic that you want to talk about. So whether it's funding, whether it is, I need to know how to care for my aging parents that literally Andres helped me with. These are the questions that the Latino community is asking that we need help with. Like, I don't know what my dad is going to do with Medicare. Like, he's not even legal in this country. So that's a question that I want to have. And nobody, only Andres, was able to answer that question to me. I kept asking this 2 weeks in a row. And he was like, I got you. Like, that made such a big difference to me. And that's the type of conversation that I think we need to have, because sure, like an engineer, like I sit with so many of them and it's fantastic, but at the end of the day, we're people. And it's like, I'm sure somebody else is having the same question about what the hell are we gonna do with their parents in Medicaid? Does that even apply to us? Are they gonna get deported if they apply to it? So I just wanna propose this as a little case study for all of us to really think about, okay, are happy hours the only thing that we can do? This is kind of like all of the people that go to the walk. These are our ground rules, and again, it's a case study on just like doing one thing consistently that is completely free. We do this in Venue Coffee every single Saturday at 8 a.m. since July 2022. That's it, that's all it takes. It's, yes, sometimes nobody shows up, and you just need another person to go for a walk and talk. But yeah, I just like the idea of not doing that many happy hours or drink food related, and instead be active and get outside of the Zoom fatigue by walking and really connecting in a neutral space. So I just want to offer that as a case study because it really changed my life. Like, I met so many people that have actually solved big problems in my life, and I'm here supporting back. So it's a reciprocal thing, and I literally like canceled a bunch of events to be here with Andres. So I just want to suggest this so we can all think a little bit outside of the box about what we can do as a Latino community for free. So if you want the blueprint for this, I'm more than happy to give it to you. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I can vouch for the walk. It's pretty great. Elle, actually, the woman who runs the walk, she just made 30 under 30. So Forbes 30 under 30 Austin local. You know, so that's a huge feat. And what they do is they create a culture that is conducive to thought, and not just that, but culture that's conducive to people feeling open and willing to come back, despite it being at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning in Austin outside, you know? So I know Michael said he wanted to get a photo. I also want to get a photo too before he takes off. So let's do that, and then we'll get back to asking some big questions. All the Latino founders come up here, yeah, the nonprofits, and then we'll take one with everybody afterwards.
You should put the slide that you had before.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take it. Oh, okay. Yes.
have to stand up front.
That's funny, normally I go right for the first round.
Oh, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, come on, everyone. I don't know, I'm up here, I'm just
Come
standing.
on,
Wait, no, aquí. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, now one with everybody. Let's see. Everybody group like around. Actually, those of y'all in the back, just move up a little bit so y'all are like. We don't want to exclude you from the conversation. If y'all have input, let us know. You know.
Where's everybody going?
Huh?
Which way are we facing?
Everybody, photo from here.
Oh, okay, this way, okay.
Let's see.
Are we doing it in low? Okay, yeah, low. All right, there you go.
I guess you can contact Andres if you want the photos.
Yeah, email us or we can message on Slack. I cannot stress how important that Slack is to me because I want an open communication with all of y'all, you know? Okay, more big questions.
I have a pretty big question.
Yeah.
Bells for everybody. Go ahead. I have one big question that's, I hope it doesn't become a rhetorical one, but it's a big one because of definitely everybody that we see in the room, but you know, Austin is renowned for having thousands of nonprofits. I think the last count was around like 10,000 at least. Wow. And so one of the big things is, you know, there's a lot of young Hispanics in tech groups in here. So my big question, the thing to ask all of you is, well, I guess it's a two-parter. A, how do we differentiate ourselves? And B, we're going to undoubtedly hit a situation where we're going to be competing for the same resources. How do we deal with that?
Yeah, that's a big one because, you know, we are all competing for sponsorship. My proposal is that we work together to deal with it. You know, all of us want a piece of the pie, but we all have budgets that we need to fill. I'm not saying that we share money with each other, but I say that we create partnerships where we both benefit equally. So creating events together, that saves us time, it saves us money in that way, you know? Combining forces on things like sharing volunteers and members that will actually relieve our burden. We're talking about like happy hours. Well, if a happy hour is $700, but we split it between 3 organizations, yes, you have a higher rate of turnout, but you create a more conducive environment where people actually want to meet and want to start pitching in for themselves. And there's a lot of Latinos there. When there's a lot of Latinos in one space, it's a family reunion. Let's be honest, you know? So I feel like sharing, not money, but sharing each other and our resources that we have as a group, that's the most key crucial part. But do y'all have answers?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Journey up there for the viewers. Yeah, thanks. So again, I'm old enough now that I just keep going. There's pre-Panini and there's post-Panini. And pre-Panini, I was part of a great organization that worked with YAPA and SHIP, the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we called ourselves How To. It was Hispanic organizations working together as one. And I do think, yeah, man. And so I think that you're right. Like, I wish for a communist utopia, but we're not there yet, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be able to share the money, but we could share, hey, I talked with this contact, we did this pitch and this worked out for us. This didn't work out for us. They're looking for a younger group because they're targeting younger Hispanics, or they're targeting women, or they're targeting whatever. We share that information with each other and say, hey, I think you've got a good shot, man. You got to get your foot in the door here. I let them know about you. I talked up your organization. Didn't work out for us, but it could work out for you and your org. I think that's one of the big ways that we do that. And then, yeah, sharing resources, and also I think we can clear some airspace. Back when I was president, we had one really large event every year called Texas Lead. It was our leadership, education, and diversity summit. And so if I went, hey man, this weekend, I'd love it if all of your orgs came out to this. Like, we sell tickets, but they're really, like, they're at cost, basically. We're not even covering the amount that it takes to run that particular summit. And we say, hey, please come on out. We just want your energy, want you to come out there. Don't counter program, right? You go, like, okay, a lot of people are gonna have a Cinco de Mayo event. Can we all have a Cinco de Mayo event? Can we do that? I've totally done that with SHIP and YAPA before. So can we do that again? Can we do that with your organization as well? So I think there's a lot of strategies we can employ. Thanks, Andres.
Yeah, of course. That's insightful. Anybody else? Yeah. What's your name?
Jorge, my name is Jorge. So I know nothing about nonprofits or anything like that. Actually, I just want to give my feedback today. So I came because I saw the post on Meetup and said, well, this is going to be great because they are going to share so many resources about tech and things like that. But honestly, I don't see any of that. So I'm just going to give you my honest feedback as an immigrant. So I came here 5 years ago. I did not have a degree. Like you were saying here, I did not speak English or anything like that. So I needed things like this. So maybe that's why I came here. I'm a little nervous because I'm not, usually I don't do these kind of things. But you should focus more on the resources and the things that you can provide to people like me when we needed it, right? Not on how much money I need for the year. Like, for example, I'm just going to try to give you some examples that I needed, and they are not related to money, or not that many of them. Like, for example, I didn't speak English. I didn't know there were free ESO, I think it was free classes. I didn't know that. So I had to wait like a year until somebody told me that, you know? So that's one thing. Other thing is like how I get into tech. Well, where can I start? Like, where are the online resources that I can start learning? So maybe somebody can help me decide which part of tech I'm just gonna start learning, right? Let's say, for example, one thing is very, very important. Trying to get an interview is impossible, especially for Hispanics. It's impossible. So if you are nonprofits and you have relationships with companies like Meta or like Google, things like that, having an event that maybe will cost you nothing or little, that group some HR people from those companies, and then you tell your community, hey, come here, Hispanics. Today is for you, not for other people. I mean, I have nothing against other people, right? But that's very, very important. It's not very often you can find it. So I hope there are less happy hours because I like them, but they don't help me to get in tech.
Yeah.
Okay? Good. Thank you.
Of course. That was a lot of good information. Jorge, definitely reach out to us after the meeting. Any of our organizations are happy to help. Part of the idea of happy hours is that we create a familia, you know, people who want to come and meet as Latinos and feel comfortable talking in Spanish about software, you know. But there is a very real part, which is, how do I find a job? How do I find the resources that I need? And we're having this conversation as a group of nonprofits where we have our nonprofit issues. But when it comes down to it, our issues are the issues of the Latino community. The issues of, how do I come into this country as an immigrant and learn the mannerisms and the ways that the American economy works, especially for tech, you know? Again, it's so obscure. Even myself, you know, I was born here, I got my degree, and I did everything here, and I'm well connected, and even then, it's still hard to find a job, you know? So thank you, Jorge, for sharing your burdens, sharing your pains, because that's something that's going to be insightful for us moving forward as organizations. How do we answer the needs of the Latino people? And that is the next question. So, any thoughts?
I'm thoughts you after.
Sorry, thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Jorge. It's actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's actually one question that, as I said, also for our nonprofits, it's important for us to think about, and that I've always been asking the boards that I've been on, thinking about is like, we all know that, you know, young Hispanic professionals, we're not the hardest to advertise to, right? We're doing a great job as far as, you know, reaching out to young Hispanic professionals that are already professionals. And the big question that we have to ask ourselves, and especially because there's a reason why so many groups are in there, right? Like, we want more representation, we want to be in there, but for the most part, we're only communicating to the people that have already made it as young Hispanic professionals. And Jorge brings up a great point as far as like, what are we doing to create more? What are we actually doing to increase that number on our own? And Jorge, I would love for you to be able to answer this, because I know we have probably around the same playbook as far as how we're reaching out. You know, we're doing a website, we're doing Facebook, we're doing LinkedIn, we're doing Instagram. I'm not young enough, so I don't know if we're doing TikTok. But what are other ways that you would know that we could communicate with people that still haven't gotten into the professional thing? And two caveats on that we're able to reach out, that has a wide net, but also that would be in a way that you would trust us enough to come to see these kind of opportunities.
Yeah, so so the event that got me into tech was actually a Google event, and they advertised it in the ACC, where I was studying English, and also the meetups. I mean, and things like that. I don't know what else can I say.
Mm-hmm. What resources are you looking for? You mentioned finding jobs.
Yes.
And then
so
career path things.
So for example, first is language.
Yeah.
Second is advice, like professional advice.
Mm-hmm. Mentorship.
Yeah, mentorship is important, but advice, like where I go, like what, like for example, Udemy. What is Udemy?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I didn't
core
know about
resources.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also some of them are free, you know, but you already know about them, but not everybody knows. Right?
Exactly.
Or maybe you already have a course that you can share with me, you know, or a PDF, or I don't know what, you know. That's one thing. Other thing is, like, since you are already a community and you are dedicated to tech, you can start doing projects. Like, let's do a website for a nonprofit, which is gonna cost you like $200. Let's do it for free with the people that come here. Let's, I don't know, learn a little bit of, I don't know, XCS, or I don't know, the back end, do the back end, you know, projects. Because those projects will help you get into the interview and things like that. Also very important, what I was saying, that event that I was saying, it was a Google event. I don't know if there was a nonprofit involved, I don't remember. But they brought some HR people and some engineers also from other companies like Facebook at that time and Google, and they did like a brief presentation, and then they start taking names. you are interested. And at that time, they shared with us one course in Udacity that was for free for a mobile developer.
Mhm.
And I got that. And after 1 year, I started applying for jobs.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into tech, you know.
Yeah.
You know, resources like that. And there are other ones like will cost money. Like for example, you need a laptop, right?
Yeah.
Or you need a computer.
Uh-huh.
How do you get a computer?
Mhm.
You know, I didn't know about Craigslist. I mean, for everybody, it's like it's a non-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Because you were born here, but I didn't have Craigslist.
It wasn't.
you know?
It wasn't a resource for you.
Yeah, so just teach things like that, where you can find like a cheap computer that you can start learning.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Or, you know, where can you find the job interviews if you don't have like that capabilities, like to bring HR from big companies, and where you can find jobs.
Yeah.
Where are the job portals? Like the ones that will give you jobs, not the
Yeah.
ones that will just advertise. You know?
I get
Yeah,
that.
Things like that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jorge. I know Nate wanted to say something, but real quick, those are the resources that we're trying to provide. I showed these slides. It's not just socials. We have this weekly to-do, which is like a office hours. So if you have any questions, we open our doors to you. So please let your members know about that, because if somebody's trying to break into tech, has a question, what is Next.js? What is React? How do I find a tech job? What are the resources? Jorge, I don't know if you knew this or any of y'all, but Udemy courses are free through the Austin Public Library, Round Rock Public Library, San Antonio Public Library. If you have a library card and you just show some sort of proof of residence, which we can help you find, you can get a free, all the Udemy courses pretty much for free through Gale services. So if you are a developer or even an entrepreneur, anybody really, and you want to learn things online, Gale Udemy offers all of the Udemy courses for you. You can get certifications, you can learn things, you can do so many things with that. That's one of the services. I actually talked to somebody just yesterday about that on the weekly to-do event. We also have our CoderPad interview mastery course with Tequeria coming up. And that is in September. Our goal for that is to show how do you master a CoderPad interview or a online code interview, and that's really important for us too. So those are some of the ways that we're trying to fix this, but part of it is we do need to combine forces on this because, you know, as nonprofit leaders, we only have so much energy. We can only have so many events. And so if we divide and conquer and have these events and actually work together to coordinate, we can do partnership events. We can also spread out our actual hosting time across, you know, different projects, different goals, you know? For example, me and Tequeria and Gerardo and Judith, we're working to get the event that we have here at Capital Factory up and running, and then they're free to do their event at their normal hours. So that's one solution. Nathan, you had something to say?
I think you really just said what it was.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Just being able to share resources. I mean, we're all here in a room talking, so
Yeah.
things like hackathons, even that's why I like tech.
Oh, hackathons, that's a good one too.
Like we can make websites, like Jorge was saying, like you can. There's so many resources out there. I just like Andres was talking about the Udemy courses. I didn't know about that. Like that was something I've been paying for Udemy courses. Like my family is an immigrant family too, so I just didn't know people in tech. So there's no way to like find this information out. So having like a hackathon where we could come together and make a website that's going to have maybe a database that has all this information. That's some things like that we could do if things for free we could do. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's awesome. Veronica.
Do we have any Latinos in AI?
Any Latinos in AI? Yes, we do. Our last meeting was actually called Hack the New World. It was about cyber, AI, and data, and we had two great professors come and talk. Camino was his, and Blakey.
But it was pretty great.
Yeah, and then Fernando, and no, that's his first name. Benito Fernandez, and then, yeah, anyways. we've got people, you know, and there are people who exist in this field. The issue is we need to be able to aggregate all of them. You know, we need all of them in one space so that if they're willing to mentor, they can help mentor and volunteer in our organizations. You know, what we're essentially proposing is a central resource that we can all distribute, so we're not exhausting the people in our communities, and so that we have resources when we need them. So again, reach out to all the other organizations, and if you're interested in volunteering with us, or you know somebody who's interested in volunteering, get them on the Slack. You know, because we offer a wide, diverse range of different topics to cover for Latino tech and Latino business, and just Latinidad in general. We provide safe spaces, community, family, and that is the goal. Oh.
Yeah, she wasn't talking.
Come on up, come on up. Don't worry, we're throwing you on the spot.
Hi.
You're with your new family, so don't worry. What's your name and
Maria.
who are you representing? Maria, okay, yeah.
Yes. My name is Maria. I'm with a company called Uncommon Good. So we're female-founded, certified B Corp. We're an all-in-one productivity software solution for nonprofits, freelancers, solopreneurs, small teams. As freelancers or as people that work with nonprofits, I think what you can all agree that one of the most precious commodities is time. And so if we can give some of that time back to you, that's what we're trying to do. In addition to the marketing, operations, and project management side, we do also have a website builder. So how many of you have multiple different tabs open all the time? You're paying 15 here, 20 here, 10 here. So our goal is for you to not have to do that anymore, be able to do everything in one place. And we believe that tech and innovation should be affordable and accessible for everyone to be able to help others pursue their dreams, pursue their passion. So we're about purpose over profit. Obviously, we need profit, but we want to be able to help people help others. And so that is kind of where our name came from. So we hope that we can do uncommonly good things together. And you'll always get a person with our platform too. You won't ever talk to a bot, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for letting me share.
You're good. I actually just heard about y'all this week. Do y'all offer like nonprofits free resources, or how does that work?
So we do free. We do have a lot of free ebooks. We do free webinars every month. We also, give our platform for a few months, at a time for you to try out. We're also willing to work with people. Sometimes we give free websites, anything that we can do. It's a simple multi-site, so we just built our own CMS on the back end of a WordPress. And then we also have a designer in-house because we're finding some smaller nonprofits need something as simple as a branding kit and don't have the budgets to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do stuff like that. And so we have 14 full-time developers, so we're mostly based in Brazil, but also in we have some in Guatemala and Mexico City as well that work full-time for us.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's really helpful to know. I had a question, but it is now escaping me. No, it's not coming. But that's
yeah,
awesome.
any resources we can. We also have a marketplace, so where you can talk to other nonprofits or talk to the freelancers too openly. We don't take any fees ever for any of our, if you do memberships or if you have people that want to donate, we never take fees off of that. We have the donation widget sweepstake. We do sweepstakes where we partner with nonprofits to be able to have people come and do sweepstakes style online kind of games to be able to, whether it's a trip somewhere or something like that. Trying to think what else.
I figured it out.
Okay.
So it wasn't much of a question, it was more of an ask.
Okay.
You're saying that you work with nonprofits, especially smaller ones.
Yes.
Direct them to us. So one of the things we've been talking about is that QR code right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That goes to a Slack for Austin nonprofits. And our goal is basically to share resources and grow together. And that's what this whole meeting was for, is how can we elevate Latinos and other nonprofits. On that Slack's not just for Latino nonprofits or even tech nonprofits, it's for all nonprofits.
Awesome.
And as more nonprofits join, we hope to have more channels that are more relevant. Right now we have, Black nonprofits, Hispanic nonprofits, AAPI nonprofits.
How does it work to join?
To join?
When you say join, we just can join the Slack channel openly and just talk to each other and
Free resource, but make sure that the people who are joining are for just causes. One of the rules that we should state in the Slack channel is no selling, because nonprofits don't want to be sold to. We want to actually find resources that are available to us. So unless it's a free resource, those are the goals. Those are the ones that really qualify for us, are the free resources or the very low-cost discounts ones, because we're all working with tight budgets. And so if you have anybody who's really working for the good of the world, have them join us, because that's what we're all about, especially in Austin. And this Slack is specifically for Austin, but if y'all know of other nonprofit groups or national organizations that want to adopt this, let us know as well, because we can help bring up, Slack channels in other cities.
And so you exchange like ideas and resources
Yes.
and anything that.
Yeah, we were talking about how there's an organization that wanted to come tonight called STEM Sign, and they had requested an interpreter, but we couldn't find one who would volunteer, and we were given a $1,200 quote for hiring interpreters for tonight. And so I told them, look, we'll set up text-to-speech, speech-to-text, we'll have our audio station and all of that, but I think they would have felt more alienated coming here because they didn't have somebody to speak for them, or to help them speak, help them communicate. And so because of that, we weren't able to have them here. And so what we want to do is we want to create an open communication where we can share volunteers who are ASL translators. We can share resources, we can share events, and create partnerships that are lasting, to keep our nonprofits actually going, because so many of them have died over COVID. So that's the goal for this meeting. And thank you for coming up and speaking with us.
And I don't know if there's ever anything, I don't know what everybody does, but if there's ever anything I can do or help with. My background is nonprofit policy development, and then so I'm an internationally certified volunteer administrator, so anything I can do to help, that's kind of my wheelhouse, or those areas, so if there's anything I can do.
I appreciate that. Yes, please do.
Thank you.
And then, okay, final words, because I think we're approaching 8:30, if not exceeded it, and we have to be out of here by 9, and I want to give everybody time to talk. So final words, anybody, any questions? Yes?
I just have a comment. I think it's really great, everything that you guys are doing. So thank you guys for trying to genuinely help the community.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. That's monumental. Judith?
One thing that, especially what I was saying, this is me speaking as myself, not part of the Guerrilla. But I was born and raised in Austin, so I've seen Austin change a lot. I went away for college, and then when I came back, it has been pretty cool and weird to see Austin changing. And one of the big forces behind this is the tech industry. So I just want to share that I just would like to see organizations, not saying that y'all are not, but be mindful of the Latinos that were here before us. And how can we help them? Gerardo and I have had conversations about this, but we don't have the bandwidth for it right now. But connecting with students, like Jorge said, he went to ACC. ACC is an amazing resource to give mentorship to. You could even partner with the college and get funding for any events that y'all want to hold with them. UT as well, Concordia, Houston-Tillotson is HBCU, I think. Texas State is nearby. And yeah, just keeping people who don't have the resources. I know Michael from Austin Urban Technology Movement kind of touched on it, but a lot of Latinos here in Austin, especially the ones that were born here, grew up very disadvantaged and don't have all the resources that other people have. Me being myself, but I got lucky to go to a good school and now I have a tech job. Just trying to find ways to get back to those people too, not just people like us who already are in tech. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's insightful. Does anybody have any ideas for that too? Any thoughts? I know some of y'all have university groups, which is exceptionally helpful. And I think getting them on board as well. And mind you, I keep talking about the Slack channel. This was not the goal of this meeting. This came to me last night in the shower, and I said, I'm gonna make that tomorrow. And literally the website was 30 minutes, and that's that, So our goal is not to promote a Slack channel. Our goal is to promote community, And so if anybody has any more ideas, speak or forever hold your peace, or just talk to us about it afterwards. All good? All right, cool. So this has been the Hispanic, or the Nonprofit Tech Summit. I hope we kind of accomplished some goals, at least got a conversation going. And reach out to Hispanic hackers if you need anything at all. Like, we are an open community, open doors, we're family. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have the room for another 30 minutes or so, so just talk and connect and get things going.
To stay in touch with your group, like give them a text.
Yeah, totally. Let me scan you. I think you went to the fiesta before. I haven't mentioned like what's your last name? F-O-S-S? Okay, awesome. Nice to meet you, Nathan.
I'm not representing. Sure, I don't know what I guess I have no expectations. I feel like I came eventually. I'm glad you did it. Yeah, I mean, obviously not all the events like this. The next thing will be a Saturday thing next week.
It's really fun. I really go to you.
Interview projects. Things coming out in November, December. So come out to any of them.
Get ready to sweat.
Funny.
Sometimes it may be hard for you to get to
I've always just hated those. There's been interviews where I'm just saying, this is not really this is pretty peace out. But that's just so
it's really fun.
I'm sorry, what was the name you also do that stuff?
No, I'm sure he keeps asking. I don't know. I'm done learning. I'm more on the marketing, graphic design.
So you can do front end.
I do fun stuff. I like the fun stuff. He does all the work television.
Front end work?
It's alright. She's way more involved than she thinks she is. I do a lot of work with interviews as well. I don't know if I do the talk as well. It might be like a 2 month.
Even more incentive to stay with y'all and keep doing it.
Right.
It also gives them if they care enough to do it, they care enough about the topic. That's the thing my old boss was right all the time to say, hey, I tell people either case, his ego was still getting, but I was like, maybe that's a good idea.
So we should invite them on us next time.
Invite them. But anyone who actually has a purpose, that's the
People
purpose, people want to hear from you. My boss was a very big real estate person. So he went to other places where people who had their retirement funds coming to close, they can invest their money, they go to them, tell people how he got started in the business, which then gives them an idea of how to close it. That's all
Great to see you, Andres. Te mando los videos. I took some really cool videos for Trinity Left.
I never thought about it. But it makes sense, yeah, CEO said he goes, and yeah, get him to speak.
Yeah, no, definitely donated a lot more places than might have been copies.
Yeah, makes sense.
You could get a random place and be like, no, but it's like, you know,
Yeah, like I can go
when you get married, you're supposed to send all the millionaires your wedding invitations, they send a gift basket. Basically that.
I've heard about that. I wish I had done that, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's such a good idea. I saw people sending like graduation stuff, like signed pictures or money.
That's awesome.
As soon as I got involved, it's like, yeah,
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice.
So,
Yeah, get in there.
Okay,
I'm gonna have
you too. Yeah, my dad's Dominican, so that kind of like got me into Latino space. My mom's like second generation. And I don't know, I was always coding as a kid. Like, middle school, like, instead of like going to I was a runner, right? But I went to college for computer engineering. When I graduated, I went to Austin. As I was telling you, like, I've only been in the industry for it's hard to find a job still. That's the issue. Is like I have a year of experience working for a tech company. But I can't find a job for the last. I need that for like for my so yeah. So I graduated Austin. Yeah, she's just terrible. Not doing a good job.
Across platforms. And obviously it's easier, you can do that with Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those are obviously related and something like the same, but if you want to look at your post on Twitter, it's just like a URL. And then 2 months doesn't get out, Twitter is supposed to be a message and a flyer.
What do you guys need? And like, I can't do that in a day with like computer program stuff.
every type of any job.
It's easier when you that's the thing is you gotta know people. Like I met dozens of people. I'm recently unemployed like 2 weeks ago and dove into this LLC that I'm starting, which is like very organized and my goal is to train them. And I go to this actually but thanks for
This is going to solve the problem for me. I want this to work.
I got savings, but I got 3 months runway until I figure something out.
Or did you just?
Yeah,
that's fine, right? Sometimes there's spoken here.
I appreciate it.
Everybody working on the same thing.
Nice
to meet you. Hi, we're gonna represent. You're like, I guess I'm the rep. I thought that was just called family business.
I mean, I love the fact that it was this. This is the kind of question that we're trying to answer. And it's just like, I've lived through it. I lived through these questions. I would like wreck my head about it. It's something to think about.
Yeah, I used to work at another startup.
We're here to increase representation. How are we actually
stores in the May, so I was kind of forced to go for it.
We're good at tapping
It's been good, but now I'm at that point where like,
we need the source to work hard.
So now trying to get everything ready to start delivering.
It's a good question. It's hard. And
is that hard?
You know, trying to, how do we collaborate and differentiate?
Just like figuring out where to start too.
It's a hard question, and that involves everybody.
Well, that was one argument. Yeah, I was really concerned to see where I could leave. Like, you know, maybe you had to be somewhere, whatever. But I wanted to talk about it for Hispanic. Like, we do very general. Hey, come in, talk to an insurance agent, and he's going to do you an interview as if you're going into insurance, or whatever. And if somebody comes to me and goes, you don't have to do that,
the street network is.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, like, he didn't know he was saying this, but he said this. Well, he didn't know he was saying this, but he said this.
Unless you know somebody,
the fact
that
that,
move
you
to a city,
know,
like if I didn't move to Austin,
as much as we all reach out,
it's already
nobody
hard, right?
is
So,
willing, nobody
like,
brand new, like,
it's-
new
you
immigrants
shouldn't
not
have
willing to
to
come
move
into
to
it
an
because
entire
they trust
different
it.
city to be able to start a
Yeah, the
business.
reason he was
You
going
shouldn't
to
have
was
to,
that he went to
feel singled
and
out
he
because
mentioned
you're
more
not
clients.
rich, you don't have all these different people to be able to,
names that he knew,
network,
jobs
having
that was the
your
draw.
relationship.
Right. So like one of the big things we probably have to do is
connections,
one of us or we should get a collective of us to do our professional development with one of the big names, Google, Facebook, and leverage their advertising. And and that may strengthen our trust in those communities as well. But we have to do this like techniques because even if they come in like but it's obviously not reaching out because they're filtering out because and I don't blame them. It's difficult. We're not housing pain, but also it's like it's dangerous for them to trust around the group too.
Yeah.
So it's like I can see it both ways. We need to leverage it and compensate for that by working together more, by tying ourselves to the trusted entities.
Inadvertently to start providing more funding for some of those.
Well, I would love to bring back that Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah, like I was actually part of the introductory board. So Hispanic.
We're taking down.
Does anyone else have coffee?
It was us.
Yes.
Let
me ask. Hey, real quick, did anybody park in the garage? We do validated parking, but not like completely partial.
It's partial.
Okay,
It's like
cool.
a coupon.
Yeah. Oh, you did park in the garage? Okay.
But yeah, so future reference, all meetups, partial validation.
Hey, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you guys, like, it does cost to park in the garage.
They weren't driving.
They won't try to
So we.
So you can like enter your credit card or
It falls off the order.
and then we'll show your amount due and you'll see it.
We're gonna try to keep it at $20.
Well, I mean, like, Yapa shit and
I know, I'm good.
So like, yeah, we should do that, reach out to everybody here. I would highly recommend the HWST.
Sell tickets, we'll take a small portion of that.
I think, yes, it was a free,
doesn't matter.
It's nice to meet you all.
By the end of the year?
I do not. I pay for cost per click on advertising. I don't want you to spend money.
You can literally crash on my couch and it's all
I'll take the money from that one user.
I'll have a drink, but I'm not like that yet.
I've worked in advertising.
I was supposed to be just started here. It's about 2 years ago or less.
We don't want that.
We started again.
It's still the advantage.
I don't know if you're in it.
I'm not enough, but I do know how to kind of way to continue. But I think it was just that like you
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna donate 10% of our
we should get business together and
business.
I would love to see if we could get a little bit closer to us.
10%, 1% to 10 different businesses. Each
It's not only
in the
that.
community will be able
Right.
to
And that's what I'm saying.
we want to focus on for giving out the money. We'll split that up how we need to.
But is it but like careful that much
I mean, it will probably, yeah. I don't know how Texas works. They say it does, but I don't know how much you have to do. So,
That's really nice.
in that case,
That
they
way
can
people feel like they're having more say, like
because
they're
they've been they've definitely been
and I used to be, or I'm still a startup consultant. The first 7 years ago, I was a startup consultant. I didn't have businesses over 20. And I just.
I have a question for y'all. And it's very frank, but do you think I agree with both hands?
Yeah, exactly. I was just experience. I was working at.
Because I was trying to address his concerns, but I
Hands on, I worked at Yelp, I did a bunch of contracts.
Yeah, no, I don't think you
do
need
much
to
of size
What we offer.
businesses.
Yeah,
I mean, in fact, the opposite, right? Where
I wanted something to make sure I felt like I was doing good in the world.
Like, if I
Because
had
those businesses.
okay, you're probably a bit too good in the past, and here's what we want to do in the future.
Yeah, so I wanted to, felt like I was doing something. This is kind of the culmination of all that over the last 2
We
years.
do that
It's
stuff,
like,
but
I want to get into business.
I'd love to reach back out to them and say, hey, it's good to work with you.
Yeah, but what I was mentioning to them though is like, the key thing is like, when you're getting someone out there, there's gonna have to be a level of trust for them to actually come.
Yeah, good job.
And I think the issue, and I was saying like, the issue that he was saying, and you didn't know he was saying, was the fact that the reason he came out to those events when he found out about these things, because they had names like Google, Facebook tagged.
Front end.
Like, so like we're all doing our best to use our resources, but unless we are able to leverage those big names,
So you're studying it in school?
we're not gonna basically tell them what's up.
Yeah,
And that's the onus of that is us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, to be able to get to know how to tie to those big names and know how to disseminate our information for every event there, because like we can't do it after interviews, so it's like, and so like if we can start calling more things like collaborate together, like we're trying to collaborate together, we could get these collaborations events, do big name professional development events that they will actually come, or we can each sell, or even just give the website to all the resources that we provide.
It can limit you to find out projects and stuff too, or add to the project management piece onto it.
That's what we have to do,
Basically
but
splitting it off into 2 avenues. That's what we're saying.
It's a hard thing to do, but
you might be a little bit
like
less
as mentioned, he didn't know he was saying
itself
that,
and more on like
the only reason someone's
planning and all that
gonna
stuff. But you can still go in and
tag
do the code reviews.
as I said, it's not they're not doing anything bad because
more money.
if you're an immigrant or
like
it could be dangerous.
it's a good option. You can always convert back to that. But that
as much as
certification, I
you're
think
good,
it's basically like what $40 a month.